Today on the show, Radical Ones, we continue Season 6. It's 2009's Case 39. Some cases should never be open.
How many active cases you got?
38.
It's time to get radical.
Hello there.
Said he's having no trouble. It's simple.
Hello there.
It's showtime.
What is this, trick or treat?
Did I do that?
Good morning, Charlie.
Sailor Moon, the champion of justice.
Deal with it. Daddy would have gotten us Uzis.
The power is yours.
Get down, honey, get down.
And look, I won't go far, okay? If the apocalypse comes,
Hold your fire. I'm a human.
Grace Jones.
Thunder. Thundercats.
Power of 3 will set us free. Power of 3 will set us free. Power of 3 will set us free.
But I ain't one to gossip, so if anyone asks you, you ain't heard it from me. No, you have?
No more room in hell. The dead walk here.
Ooby-dooby-doo.
Welcome back, Radical Ones, to another episode of the Radical Retro Rewind podcast. As always, I am your host, Radical Ryan Hunter, here with our friend and returning guest co-host, Cadu. Hello, my friend.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me.
It's so good to have you back. Our first time in season 6.
Yeah, it's going to be a magical season.
Radical Ones. I have never seen this movie, Case 39, from 2009. Although that's even funny. We're going to get into that. There's when it was recorded, when it was released and everything like that. But last night was the first time viewing this movie. And of course, Cadu had suggested this. And can I tell you, I am blown away that I've never seen this movie.
And I'm so happy that you did for the podcast and that you actually enjoyed it.
Very much so. So I was telling Cadu off camera that I knew that his suggestion was going to be a good one because he's got good taste, my friend over here. He's got very good taste. When he enjoys something, I know it's going to be of quality. And it was mysterious because there's so many times that I thought I knew what was going to happen, Cadu. And then I was like, oh, wait. Oh, okay. What is happening now?
Twists and turns.
Yes.
How many active cases you got?
38. Child Services? My name's Emily.
Lily,
You know I can help.
they hate me. They go into the cellar.
This little girl heard her parents say they're going to send her to hell.
I'm scared.
Did you hear that?
Open up. Hey!
What she needs right now is a safe, supportive environment. I think that I can provide that for her.
Do you live alone?
Just me. Just us.
I had a bad dream.
You gotta expect some hiccups. You can't undo 10 years of trauma in 6 weeks.
I went by the house. Mom and Dad were barricading themselves in their room at night.
What scares you?
They followed me.
Who?
You're not safe around me.
People die around her. Not by her own hand, they just die.
You're scared. You ought to be.
Don't let them take me.
I won't let them near her again.
They'll never stop.
This movie is described as, in her many years as a social worker, Emily Jenkins thinks that she's seen it all until she meets 10-year-old Lilith and the girl's cruel parents. When the parents try to harm the child, Emily assumes custody of Lilith while looking for a foster family. However, she soon finds that a dark force surrounds the seemingly innocent child, and the more she tries to protect Lilith, the more horrors she encounters. Okay, so Cadu, take us back to the year 2009. Is that when you saw it, when it was in theaters, or did you see it later on?
No, the movie actually premiered here in Brazil in 2010, April 2010, and actually it was 2 days after my birthday, so it was like a birthday present.
Oh,
And
I love that.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed that because I'm a huge fan of Renée since Chicago, but I knew of her, of course, many years before with Me, Myself, and Irene, Nurse Betty, but I became a fan after watching Chicago. And I never missed a project ever since. So I was really excited when I knew that she was going to be the lead in a horror movie. Of course, I had to be there, and it was my birthday, so.
This goes back to our Captain Planet episode where Cadu came up with the perfect casting for the villainous Dr. Blight. And I really do hope this happens because since that episode, they mentioned that there is a movie in the works again. I feel like it's happened a few times, but currently there's a live action movie. And Cadu said that Renée would make the perfect Dr. Blight. Radical ones, go look at Renée and Dr. Blight. That is the perfect casting. So that's a callback to one of our earlier episodes.
They better cast Renée.
It would be perfect. Especially there's a picture that Cadu sent me and she's in white. Her hair is cut like Dr. Blight. It's like, oh my God, this has to happen.
And Renée is such a lovable actress. You can see that in this movie. You know, she plays like a social worker and she's so sweet. Her character is so lovable and relatable. And of course, I have to talk about Charmed because...
Oh my God, yes.
It's like Paige, you know, we love our Rose McGowan character, and this is, you know, it could be her co-worker, you know, Emily Jenkins.
Even down to her boss.
And the cop friend.
The whole entire time, Cadu, you know I was thinking the same thing.
And you know why I love this character? I think they did a really good job making her a real person because she drives an old Volvo. She's not, you know, rich and lives in a big house. You know, she's a regular person doing a regular job. So she has to have like an old car and live in a decent house, you know.
Of course, if you're watching this in 2025, everything is dated, right? But even in the time, and we found out the movie was filmed in 2006, even in 2006, it is an older car. So Cadu's right. It's showing too that she is working hard, very hard. And yes, she is a real person. She doesn't have the newest car. Her house is nice, but you know, it's not a mansion. She's a real person working every day. And she's really overloaded too at work.
Yeah, she's acting in 38 cases before this one.
How many active cases you got?
38.
Okay.
Wayne, oh, come on. Look, I'm buried here.
I'm sorry, and we all are.
And why do I feel like this is real life, Cadu? I feel like these people are really overworked and they probably have so many cases.
100%.
We meet Emily, really likable from the start because you do see that she wants to protect children. She has a good heart. And it's like a main character that you can get behind as soon as it starts. So I was already with Emily. I'm like, okay, great woman, great character. I'm with you. And of course, Renée acts her butt off. I have to say that right from the start.
Isn't she the best? I mean, she can do it all.
You know, I don't want to be biased because we're talking about it and we do have a few surprises, but the acting, I'm going to say around the board is top notch, including, and I have to call her this, our Silent Hill girl, because the whole entire time, and I can't wait for Cadu to watch Silent Hill because I think he's really going to enjoy it, especially after watching this one. This girl is amazing. She goes from sad to creepy Oh my God, her acting is phenomenal.
Yeah, before we talk about her, I have to mention that we have a surprisingly good message from the director, Christian Alvart, and he was kind enough to talk about so many things about the movie, and we are going to play out some of the messages here. And one of the things that he said, that the casting to this specific character was so long, and they were able to find Jodelle, and she did a great job.
Hi, Radical Ones. This is Christian Alvart, director of the film Case 39. And next year it will be 20 years since I've been on set shooting that film. And looking back at it, it's kind of surprising. I think I could do a whole podcast of my own on memories from that, because it was very early on in my career. It's 2006, and I'm walking onto the lot of the famous Paramount studio through the gate every day. And I just feel so elated and excited to work on a real Hollywood movie. And it came with all the ups and downs that you could expect from it. I couldn't believe the level of actors I had access to. I loved working with Renée. It's one of the highlights of my career to work with Renée Zellweger. I think she was amazing. She gave it her all in a role that was a genre piece where not everybody really throws themselves into it, because it's very often a paycheck. That was not at all the case with Renée. She really worked hard. She went to the social worker and shadowed him, I don't remember, for a month or so. And she really gave 100% in that performance. I loved working with Bradley Cooper, Ian McShane, Jodelle Ferland, who was the result of a super extensive casting net that was crazy. That was like, to me, wow, I'm really in Hollywood. I think we looked at, not me on my own, but as a team, I think we looked at well over 1,000 auditions. And then we had recalls and recasts. And at the end, we did two full days on film with Renée and all the actors on set to test the final two girls, and Jodelle did an amazing job.
This is, again, Cadu's magic. He is always working behind the scenes. Thank you so much for this message, Christian. I mean, it was beyond. There's so many details that he gave us in this. Oh my goodness, this is fantastic.
And this is just the first part. You're going to hear throughout the episode, and then you can watch on YouTube and Instagram. But yes, so many good details.
Radical Ones, I really suggest that after this episode, you seek out the video on YouTube or Instagram, because there's a 10-minute conversation in here with a lot of information. It's just the chef's kiss, as I like to say.
And speaking of casting, we have a young Bradley Cooper.
I've done some soul searching, and I just want to say that if a full-on relationship feels like too much right now, I'd be willing to consider a purely physical one.
This surprised me so much, Cadu. So this is, I'm assuming, early on in his career. I'm trying to think of like one of the first things he did. He just kind of like appeared, I remember.
Yeah, I remember. I think one of his first jobs was Alias.
Oh my God, yes. Totally
with our girl, Jen Garner.
Yes.
And then I think he did like a few romantic comedies, but as a supporting actor, that Wedding Crashers movie and a movie with Matthew McConaughey and Sarah Jessica Parker. But that was it.
And then the other thing I remembered as I'm watching this, I'm watching Renée and Bradley on camera, and I'm like, didn't they date? and I'm like, wait, didn't she date? And then sure enough. I looked it up from 2009 to 2011, and they met on this set.
Isn't that amazing, to have a relationship?
And my goodness, his character, Dr. Douglas.
Yes.
I don't know if you want to get into that now or later, but my God, he's in a scene that stood the heck out to me. Let me tell you, Cadu, oh my God, that horrified me, that scene.
We will definitely talk about that scene, but he's gorgeous in this movie. I mean, peak hotness and beauty.
Peak. And really likable. Again, a likable character.
Yeah, because I feel like Emily needs that. She works so hard and she has to deal with so much ugliness in her work that she has to have friends like the detective Mike and this one Doug that is more than just a friend. He's a love interest. So I feel like they are all working together, and at the same time they are supportive of each other.
And it's nice because, again, there are character growth moments in between this, or not, or at least character development, because you can see that Emily she tries to be funny and joke around, because there's that one part when she thinks that Bradley's character is calling her, turns out to be Lilith, the girl, but she's doing something like, oh, I met somebody already, and so it shows her character. She has this fun side to her. We don't get to see it too much in this movie because she's in horror and terror, but
yeah.
Too late, met someone else. Lily?
And of course, the whole story is around this little girl who is possibly being abused by her parents. And Emily is the one that needs to help her to get out of there.
So, like Cadu said, she is overloaded with cases. Her boss gives her one more. Like we said, I'm sure this happens every day with social workers. And it's case 39. I wonder if there's something to 39, or it's just, I was thinking that last night. Like, I don't think there's really anything to it, but it's an interesting title because it doesn't give anything away from the plot at all. You just know it's like case 39. So great title.
Yeah, so mysterious.
I want to know if you remember the exact moment that you knew something might be going on with the family and Lilith beyond what we're seeing.
Eddie says we don't have family problems.
Well, many families won't realize that they're having problems until it's too late. And that's where we come in. We help families communicate and learn healthier ways of resolving conflict.
It was that scene where the father was in the basement, because we keep finding out that the father is working in the basement. At one point, Emily does this visitation with the family, and my God, it gives me such... It was very uncomfortable, right? And we're thinking the parents, of course, are... whatever, the father's not talking. He only whispers into the mother's ear and things like that. So we're thinking it's the parents, but there's this one flash, Cadu, and the father sees Lilith like watching him dig in the thing, and he looked nervous. And I was like, what's going on here? Could there be something else? Do you remember at what point you kind of were like, okay, there's something else going on here?
I think I was at the same pace as the other characters because Lilith is so, innocent, and she's very afraid of everything. And we, as the audience, we're like, oh my God, this kid is being abused, and she's so afraid. And especially after that visit where the kid is really scared, about her parents. And I remember Emily visiting her at school, and she gives her the phone number. And I was like, okay, this girl is going to be in serious trouble. And of course, any doubt that you might have or the audience, after this scene, you don't know what you're going into because it is the oven scene. And oh my God, if you think you know what's going to happen, you have no idea after this scene.
If I disappear, will you come look for me?
You're not going to disappear.
If I do?
Right, because it happens, I want to say, within the first maybe 20 minutes to half hour. So this is when I was like, wait, if this happens and the parents are put away, what's the rest of the movie gonna... Like, there's clearly something else going on here. And the pacing, I have to tell you, Radical Ones, Cadu, I don't know if you feel the same way. I think the pacing is fantastic. It goes so quickly, but at the same time, you're given... It's not like rushed. It's not rushed.
Yes,
it builds
exactly.
tension, but great tension.
Exactly that. And you care about, Emily and Lily, and then when Lily calls Emily in the middle of the night, like, help me, I need help. And she's there with her friend, the detective. And we find that situation, with the parents trying to kill their daughter in the oven.
Oh my God. It really is so disturbing. And the parents are played by Kerry O'Malley, and Callum Keith Renee is the father. Gotta say, they play these roles fantastic because until you know what's going on, you're like, these people are horrible. They're just horrible people. They're this, they're that. They play them so good.
And speaking of the parents, we have an amazing message from Kerry O'Malley. She's not only one of the stars of this movie, but she's also a Charmed alum, which I really, really love. She was in the season 6 finale. So it's such a great thing for us, Charmed fans. And she has a message for us. So enjoy.
Hi, Radical Ones. This is Kerry O'Malley. I'm so glad you're talking about Case 39. Boy, it's been a long time since I talked about that. We shot it in 2006. It wasn't released until 2010, but for me, it was a fantastic experience. 9 weeks in beautiful Vancouver with an incredible cast. Renée Zellweger, Adrian Lester, Ian McShane, Jodelle Ferland, Callum Keith Rennie. I mean, just incredible actors to be on set with. Renée Zellweger, I can't say enough about her. She is the most extraordinary, kind, generous, prepared, wonderful leader. She's everything you would want in a number one on the call sheet. She's just so generous, just a complete consummate professional, and I adored her. I just felt so lucky to get to go to work with her. Christian Alvart was fantastic. It was the first time I'd ever worked on a movie where everything was storyboarded first, like really in very specific detail. So that was interesting, watching how we could make his vision come true from what he had done in the storyboard. Some fun memories. The scene where we put Jodelle in the oven, that was pretty incredible. And she was just a complete champ. Every time we did a take, she would be like, "How was that? That was great. Let's do it again." So, you know, some of the crew was really disturbed watching it because it's a pretty upsetting scene, but she was just great. Total pro. Callum was so much fun to act with, and other fun memories. I tore a door off a hinge accidentally. I come out of the closet in that burn makeup in that nightmare sequence chasing after Renee, and I hit the door a little hard, and I tore it off the hinge. I was in my monster mode, so that caused a little bit of a delay. We had a big fire on set. We we burned down a warehouse, unfortunately. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but that was a bit of a conflagration. And all in all, it was a fantastic experience, and I'm so glad that you're watching it. Thank you.
First off, thank you so much, Kerry, for this video. My goodness. It was filmed so beautifully, by the way, Radical Ones. I can't wait for you to actually see the video because it is gorgeous.
Please check it out because it is an amazing production. And Kerry is so sweet. She talked about the movie so kindly, and we are so thankful. So thank you, Kerry.
And I love that she brought up the oven scene. And, you know, she mentioned that Janelle, Silent Hill, she was, you know, like you heard in the message, she was like, let's do it again. Let's shoot it again. She was fine. And I do love that the adults were all kind of freaked out, like she said, you know, on set. Because it's traumatic when you think about it. Because again, I hate to say it, but this stuff happens in the real world. So, I mean, this was a traumatic scene. And it was really great because I love that she mentioned, which is something that comes up later on again, when we get the message from Christian, that he storyboarded the whole movie.
Yeah, isn't that dedication?
Funny anecdote on the side. So when I couldn't believe that Paramount is going to do this, obviously they couldn't either at some points. So when they saw the storyboards for the oven scene hanging on my wall, they walked by it and they kind of got a little scared, and the whole thing became super political. And they made me shoot a whole version of the scene where the kid isn't in the oven, but just next to it, which was obviously super lame, but they wanted to cover their bases and made me shoot that. And they also, fearing that I might go overboard and made a way too violent scene, as a director, I had kind of control over my schedule. I had this and that many days. And I was super free to do and get the movie in on time within these dates the way I wanted. except for that scene. Because of that scene, they saw the storyboard. I think the scene consists of, I don't know, something like almost 100 setups and shots. And so they asked me to tone it down, and they specifically demanded that I shoot that scene in one day and one day only. And I start with the more timid and soft versions of the scene, and also the more important basic setups, and not the brutal one. For example, when she's in the script, the father steps on her like a bug. So I had this top shot of he steps on her and all that. So they demanded that I shoot the other shots first and then these, being scared of that scene a little bit.
And after the oven scene is that when we get to see Lilith's through colors, because after that we learn that Renee's character, Emily, is finally trying to foster Lily for a while, and that's when things change,
Because it makes sense, right? This is the first person in Lily's life that showed her care and warmth. And Emily is, like we said, a great character. But she kind of does really force her hand to please try to, adopt me or take me. I want to be with you. And she really lays this guilt on Emily's character.
I don't want to stay here. I want to live with you. Please. I'll be good.
Lily, it's impossible, I told you.
Will you try?
We see she goes to different meetings. It's unheard of, basically. This is never, they don't do this. But for whatever case, the reason, the traumatic event, I'm sure, of the oven event, until they find a family. But we find out, basically, the coworkers were kind of like, well, she wanted her, so they weren't really looking for a family. It was just like they were just going to let her basically take Lilith, is what I'm assuming.
Yeah, and you said it perfectly, because this is the time that we start to notice that maybe a little manipulation is going on.
But at the same time, the character is so sweet and lovable and perfect, right? Like the perfect little girl, even though she's been through all of these traumatic events. So sweet and smart and caring. And again, the acting for this little girl is just, in the 2 movies now that I've seen her in, fantastic. And by the way, always playing a creepy little girl.
And things start to change when she's actually in those meetings, with different kids from foster places, and they are all victims of abuse. And one of the kids there actually kills his parents. And Emily is shocked, he was troubled, but not at this level, to kill his own parents.
I want to say the name was it Diego? For some reason.
Diego,
that,
yes.
That stood out to me for some reason. Yes, Cadu. And she asked the detective friend, who was played by a very famous, I want to say this man is in everything, Ian McShane. I always want to say he's playing famous. Cops too, Cadu. Yeah. I feel like he's always a cop. She's like, a 10-year-old boy did this?
A 10-year-old did this. There's no way.
I was there when they brought him in. Took 3 guys to subdue him. And the kid was climbing the wall.
This is the mysterious part for me. We find out that he got a call from Emily's house at 2 a.m. or something like that. And Diego finally admits that it was, and oh my God, that kid played it really fantastic too. He looked like he was traumatized.
Yeah, he even had a panic attack after meeting Emily.
Fantastically done. I felt it for that kid. He says that a man was on the phone. So I have questions about that too. I don't want to forget that, Cadu. I want to bring that up later again. But he mentions that a man was on the phone. So, this leads the detective friend to, he found out, the call came at 2 a.m. And I love this one scene when they're both talking. Emily and the detective are talking to Lily. And he says afterwards, she's lying.
Yes,
she called.
Yes.
Love that line, Cadu. It was delivered just she's lying. She's lying. So what's happening? What's going on, really?
It wasn't me. I swear.
Call came at 2 a.m. You ever up that late?
I didn't call him.
You ever up that late?
Mike, she said no.
She's lying.
And I would say after that scene that we see Jodelle's, Lilith's other side, because she's standing by the door like, why?
Yes.
Do you not believe me?
Oh my God. And again, played so well. So well. What do you mean? Like with that innocence. And I want to say it's around this time, Cadu, that Emily goes to get clothes, let's just say, from Lilith's house. And I don't know about you, but I probably would have took a walk around the parents' room after that happened too, just like to say, what's going on in this family's house?
Let me try to understand this family dynamics.
Right. I'll admit, I would have looked radical ones too.
Oh yeah, me too.
This Cadu, she goes in the parents' room and they have bars on the door. And I'm like, okay.
This is looking shady.
Oh my God, beyond. And it's to keep the parents safe. Like, it's from the inside. So it's not like they're locking her up. No, they're trying to save themselves. So that's another thing. But at one point, it was brushed off as, oh my God, that poor girl, like they locked their room or something. But no. It's because of another reason.
And I feel like it's quickly after that we have that scene with Bradley and Jodelle when they are in this, therapy session and she flips the table on him and it's so creepy.
Everybody's scared of something. And working through our fears, conquering them is how we get better. So I want you to tell me, what scares you?
I'll tell you what scares me. If you tell me what scares you.
This is when you're 100% like, oh, pure evil. This girl is pure evil.
This is a demon child.
I even joked with Cadu beforehand. I was like, is this going to be like The Orphan? Is she going to be like, she was really like 50 years old?
And it's great that you mentioned that because I feel like this movie is really compared to The Orphan. And this movie was shot in 2006, so it's prior to Orphan.
Oh, it predates The Orphan.
Yeah,
oh, wow.
It predates. So this is the quote-unquote original. I just wanted to clear this up because I feel like a lot of people compare the two, but they are different in style. One is supernatural, the other is more thriller. But yeah, Case 39 came first.
And it's actually a very different plot because this girl is a demon? Is she a demon? Do we know?
Yeah, I would say that she is the demon of fear.
See, he knows. That's exactly what I was thinking. Is she a demon of fear? Because you set it up perfectly, the Bradley Cooper scene. So she swaps like a psychopath.
Yeah.
And we find out that he tells Emily that that's the first time in his whole career that he felt like he was threatened.
I've talked to a lot of kids. I don't think I've ever felt like that before.
Like what?
By the way, I love that Emily was catching on to this, Cadu. I could feel like I could sense you probably the same way. Like, come on, girl. Like, if she wasn't waking up, you'd be like, come on now.
Yeah.
Pick up on some clues. But she was.
I love that she's smart enough to follow the story.
As soon as this happened with Bradley Cooper's character, she was like, nope. So what happens is, to me, I think this might be more horrific than The Oven in execution, Cadu. Like, the thought of the oven and the little girl is horrific, but this scene, oh my God, this affected me. This was like, oh.
Such a terrifying scene.
Ow.
Bradley Cooper's character mentions that his fear is being stung by wasps or hornets, hornets that as a kid he was stung by them. And when that hornet comes out of his ear, Cadu, oh my God. I thought that was going to be the worst. It wasn't. It wasn't.
And then
at
one
all.
after the other, and then out of his nose, out of his eyes, out of his mouth.
The mouth. And we find out that he gets a call.
Yes, prior to that
too. So there's something with the call. There's something with the messages that happen on the call. And the way it happens is snaps his own neck, but then he falls and like still like just cuts himself up and the whole bathroom is destroyed. I don't know how they thought this was a suicide.
True.
I mean,
even though the hornets were in his head like a nightmare sequence, but the bathroom was destroyed.
Even the sink was hanging off the wall, Cadu. I was like, how did he kill himself?
So you're saying that you've seen this before? Someone just dying like that?
Truly, I'm shocked every day by the violence people do to themselves.
But
that scene was so well done.
Extremely effective. So there's a funeral scene, and I love this, Cadu. There's that car scene when she's trying to hold Emily's hand again, because at the funeral, she tries to take Emily's hand and she refuses it. And then she tries to do it in the car again. I love Renee's acting in this. I don't think she knows even what to do at this point. Because she's probably like, what is happening? What is happening?
And that's where I think the cat and mouse relationship begins, because Renee knows that something is up and Lily is, does she know? And so they are playing here.
Yes. And the matter of fact, I want to say, is it around this time, Cadu, or is it a little later, that she says basically, do what I want, let me have ice cream after school. Like, basically, these are the rules that she's laying down without saying, though, like, what she is or why or how and whatever the case is. She doesn't really give her too much information. She's just like, if I want ice cream after school, you give it to me. If I want to go to the group class, you do it for me. If I don't, this or that. So Emily is becoming unhinged, almost like what the parents were like, right? So you see the parallel to that too, that she's making this woman go crazy.
She's becoming the parents.
She's becoming the parents. And of course, people at work are thinking what? That she can't she can't handle children or whatever. She's going crazy or whatever the case is. Because she sees at one point Lilith is talking to another little girl and she already knows what happened to Diego. So she rips her away from the girl. And of course, they're like, don't you ever do that again. To this, I'm surprised they just said that to her and didn't just say what and take her away. But
and after that, we have that elevator scene.
Tell me how strong Emily's character is, because I would have been dead probably.
Oh, 100%. I would be, on the floor.
On the floor. She didn't even bat an eye, though. She was affected, but my God, I would have been, like Cadu said, I would have been on the floor dead after going through that.
At this point, Lily already knows that Emily knows, so she's playing with her, why Emily? Why Emily? She's provoking her, and then she makes the elevator go down. Of course, it's a nightmare sequence, but, Emily feels that tension, feels that fear. It's like your nightmare coming to life.
You're not going back there.
Why, Emily? 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 Why?
I don't want to sound horrible, but that why Emily thing, it would have made me snap. I would have smacked her. I'm sorry.
Me too. I'm an Aries. I would be like, okay, girl, you're dead.
Radical ones, you have no idea. I have to just play like a little clip of it. Just picture this over and over and over. Girl, bye. Would have been gone. So at this point, like Cadu said, all the cards are on the table. She doesn't know what Emily is, but she knows that she's evil. The cop friend, okay, so the cop is with her at various points. Again, like we mentioned earlier, he says like she's lying, but then he kind of like thinks that maybe Emily is just like whatever, being too hard or losing it, which is kind of odd because he was with her, up to a point like this.
Yeah, but I think is believable because she talks to the parents first. I mean, with her dad. And he says that she's basically a demon. So she is aware of the demonic part of it all. And she tells the detective friend, and he's like, okay, now you went too far. So when he thought she was only like a psychopath, he was on board. But then
now you went too far.
She's like, she's a demon, you know? And he was like, okay,
he thinks that
now
she's thinking because of the Bradley Cooper's death that she's like, you know, overreacting. But nope, I don't think she was reacting enough.
Emily Jenkins.
You shouldn't leave me home alone, Emily.
So then the ending, again, things are happening very fast at this point.
And the only alternative to Emily is to kill Lily, because the parents said that it's the only way to stop this demon. She's not an innocent little girl. She is devil incarnate. So the only way is to kill her in her sleep.
Which she doesn't do often, they mention, which is, it explains why that one scene earlier, she was just like, I'm falling asleep. I was like, what? But now it makes sense because she never sleeps. And we find out that she was given drugs. So Emily does visit the parents. Our mother, played by Kerry, is just continuously tortured. She's put in an oven in her mind.
Yeah.
And put on fire. So she's lost her mind. The father, who we didn't even mention during the oven scene, they break in and they try to stop him. His jaw is broken. That's horrific on its own.
That's an effective scene. So graphic.
So graphic, because that jaw just, I was like, what? But it makes sense. It was like a big hit. He hit his head on the refrigerator.
Yeah.
He tells her, you know, this was the plot that we do, and you got to make sure, because she knows. That's the other thing. Lilith knows everything that's going on, who you visited, who you spoke to. I love that, Cadu. How's my mother?
And she was like, bitch, I never told you this.
Yeah, she's like, I didn't tell you about your mother.
Are they being nice to her?
Who?
My mother.
How would I know that?
I thought you said you were going to see her.
Oh, I must have been dreaming then. I loved that.
I love their relationship because it's so campy and so soapy, and I love that.
They try to start over because at one point, Emily tries to kill her. Do you think that she would have just stayed with Emily had she gone with it? Or is it part of her thing that she just needs to go to the next family eventually?
As the parents said, I think she feeds on emotions, you know? So she's always searching for that pure person, and she turns that person, you know, crazy or something. And when she breaks them, literally, she goes after the others. And one thing I thought it was interesting is that the parents said they had a lovely family before that. They had sisters, brothers, and one by one, they were dying until they were just the two of them with the kid. And I think that's the point where they had nothing left. So she had to go to Emily.
Oh, yes. So perfectly said. So the family had this beautiful family, sisters, this, that, killed them all. So we see this scene, which I think is so smart. But though, if I was Lilith, that's the one part I'm like, Lilith, girl, you're dumb. Because it echoes earlier. So it does make sense because the first night she's giving chamomile tea, right? By Emily. So it parallels that. It's not like the first time, but I would have been so suspicious.
Yeah, but I feel like she tried to be smart first because she's like, oh, you have it. And then...
But then it's all, no.
Yeah.
I'm going to have some later.
Maybe you should have it. You look stressed.
I'll have one later.
I was like, okay, it worked or whatever the case is.
But maybe she didn't because, you know, after that scene, Emily sets her house on fire and she thinks that Lily is sleeping there. And she takes the fish, which I loved that she did.
God, I love that she took the fish too.
And she was like, okay, now I killed this crazy bastard. And then the firefighters are there and they were like, is everyone okay? Yeah! And then it's Lilith there, you know? So maybe she didn't drink that.
The other thing that I loved was when she throws the gasoline on her door, she goes back and throws more gasoline on the door just to make sure, like, no, this room is going up in flames.
Yeah. But now that you mentioned that, I have to go back to that other scene when she flips that her cop friend just died and Lily is playing the TV really loud and she's like, no, no, no. And then the TV on the floor. She's like, get the hell out of my house, you know?
It's almost like she's going toe to toe with her in a way. And Lilith was just kind of like, okay, I guess. I won't be listening to that song. I have to mention really quickly, too, there is a lot of jump scares in this movie. They got me. The dog jump scare got me. The clock one that went off got me for a minute. I feel like there was a time when jump scares were like really present in movies, and this was jump scary, but it worked.
It totally worked. I rewatched this movie for, I don't know, the 10th time, and some of them got me again.
See, that's effective. That's when you know something's effective. The ending of this movie is really good, too, because the acting, again, is top notch. This is why we have a 2-time, I want to say, Academy Award winner.
Yeah, it's 2-time now, because at the time, it was only 1-time Academy Award winner.
From this scene, she's driving the car, and Lilith's like, can we go to a hotel with a pool? She begins to speed up. And there's this whole thing where there's a callback to Emily's mother and her relationship. And then Lilith makes it look like, you know, she's her and Renee is her mother, yada, yada, yada. The speeding up and scaring her is so good. Like, you're just like, yes, look at this, a little taste of your own medicine. Are you scared now?
Are you scared?
And that's when she finally conquers her fear because she's like, this is not real, this is not real, this is just a nightmare. And the little girl is like, how did you do this? And she's like, oh yeah, yes. I conquered my fear and now you're dying.
Bitch. No, just I'm sorry, I wish she would have said that. I kind of thought maybe she was going to do something like this. I don't know if it was her intention to kill both of them, but the car goes off the road into water. There's a really great scene. Oh my God, you know what I got? What Lies Beneath?
With Michelle Pfeiffer?
Yeah, I loved that movie.
Yeah,
Cadu.
Same.
With the car. We think Lilith got knocked out, hit her head, and Emily's trying to get out, and then she grabs her.
With her demonic hands, giant hands.
Yeah. Okay, so at this point, we know that her face transformed at one point. I'm like, ooh, she almost looked like an alien.
Yeah.
But I'm still not sure. But yeah, I think it is demon, right? Like you said. She's got these like gray Hulk arms that she tries to hold on to her. And Emily is ended up being freed. But then there's this one more great shot too, where she breaks through the trunk and her hand grabs Emily's leg, but she gets away. And she comes on shore, and the movie ends here. But what I love is, I had a question I was going to ask Cadu of what he thought happened next. And there's two things I want to bring up. One is, they're evidently, in Cadu, I don't know if you saw this, do you actually own the DVD?
Yeah, I do.
They said the DVD has a deleted ending?
Yeah, several, extra footage, and there is an alternative ending.
So they say that when the car sinks to the bottom, a man swims down to the car and rescues both Lilith and Emily. Emily is seen in handcuffs, frantically pleading with her lawyer to tell her where Lilith is. Her lawyer orders for Emily to be shipped off to the insane asylum for schizophrenia, unfazed by her innocence. Meanwhile, Lilith arrives at the home of her new foster family, as mentioned earlier in the film, and turns to wink to the camera. What is answered by Christian, our director, is what actually he thinks it's not really a happy ending, even though this is a different ending, because
there's also some battles that I lost. Like I said earlier, it's not 100% the way I would have made it on all things. I think that was even in the script a problem. I think we have to acknowledge that we never really nailed the ending. Even though I'm quite happy that not many people pick up on this, but it's not quite as happy an ending as it first looks. If you listen closer, you can hear sirens coming closer, and if you think about it, I mean, she tried to burn down the house. It was clearly arson, so they will pick up on that. And then this very next few hours, she drives her car into the water, and the little kid drowns in the trunk. So I'm pretty sure that Renee's character, Emily, is going to end up in prison. So it's quite darker than it first appears, and has this double-edged sword to it, which I like, but we never came up with a brilliant ending for that film.
I actually like this ending because the alternative ending showed, the little girl getting away and Emily being arrested. And of course, Lily was going to destroy that family again. But I like this ending because not only the demon is dead, but we are unsure about Emily's fate. Maybe she's free to live happily ever after. Maybe she's going to jail. We don't know. We just hear the sirens. Maybe it's the police. Maybe it's the ambulance. So I like that we have this ambiguous ending. And of course, she tried to kill that girl twice. So she's probably facing some jail time. But maybe she can, get away with her friends helping her. The friends that are alive, of course.
Oh, that's right. Because our cop, they showed she made it look like he shot himself.
Yeah.
I agree, Cadu, because even though it is a bleak ending, it's not showing us 100% that she was arrested. And at this point, we could say that Lilith is possibly just dead and she stopped it.
Yeah.
So I do enjoy that because, I feel like Cadu's the same way. Like, we like happy endings.
Yeah, we do.
This is close to a happy ending because, like you said, it's so open-ending. That could be an ambulance.
And the demon walking away would be such a cliche, just like, oh, I'm going to do this again.
Such a cliche. Such a cliche. That's why I'm glad they even put a wink at the end, because it is so cliche that it is over the top. Why not add a wink, right?
Yeah.
So yes, this is the better of the ending to me without actually physically watching it. Do you think that the demon was a male? Because I typed in, Lilith's character on Google, right, Cadu? And the villain's Wikipedia came up. She's on the villain's Wikipedia. This has all villains, evidently, from every movie, TV, cartoon. It's every villain. And they're saying, not much is known about Lilith's past, although it's possible that a male demon disguised itself as a young child to make it look, less obvious. And it says somewhere a demon possessed Lilith Sullivan, a young girl, when she was born to Eddie Sullivan and Margaret Sullivan in August of 1997. It says, although the film, it disguises itself as a girl, the entity's sex is most likely a male. When we see it in the end, its squeal sounds masculine rather than feminine. Oh, Diego, here we go, says that Emily's daughter called him and he answered and a man was there. So is it a man or is it just a demonic voice?
Maybe both, that's the ambiguous part that I love. Maybe he is a demon man, or it's just the nightmares on each and everyone's head. Maybe he's afraid of his dad because he was an abusive dad and he is the representation of this evil man.
So smart. So Gothica of you. Who needs Halle Berry? We got Dr. Cadu.
I'd rather be Halle Berry than Bradley Cooper because Bradley Cooper died in this one.
100%. Although we don't want your arm to be broken. Oh my God. Remember that one, Radical Ones? Go back to our episode on Gothica. Okay, Cadu, so in our new season, we've been doing the time capsule, right?
Yes.
What item do you think best represents Case 39?
All right, Clyde. Let's find out who the winner is.
Okay, so to me, the scene that most represents Case 39 is the oven scene, because the movie is very popular here in Brazil. People really love this movie, and they really, really talk about that oven scene. And I feel like with both messages, Kerry's and Christian's, they both mentioned the oven scene. So I would have to say that oven scene represents the movie. But I cannot wait to hear yours.
I love this. Okay, so my first was the oven. For the exact same reasons you mentioned. I noticed there was definitely a theme. It stood out, and I love that in Brazil that's the scene that's mentioned and brought up, because it just shows how memorable it was.
And not only that scene, the whole movie, people really love Case 39 over here.
What is it called, by the way? Is it just Case 39?
Yeah, Caso 39.
Oh, I love it. I totally agree. The only other alternative that I came up with was the actual folder that said case 39 on it with her picture because it came up a few times. But
okay, perfect. We can combine the two. The oven scene with folder case 39 on the floor.
That's perfect.
Perfect.
So, case 39, you were officially entered into the time capsule, your oven, your folder. Okay.
The folder is ready to go inside the oven.
That's what I was just thinking of, the folder inside the oven. About to burn up.
Yeah.
So, that was another episode of a Radical Retro Rewind. Cadu, after this, it's the start of the holiday season. And should we mention currently on our Etsy page, we have a new holiday sticker?
Yes.
Radical ones. If you've been following us on Instagram, you probably have noticed we've had really great excitement over our past stickers. We did a Julie James one for I Know What You Did Last Summer. And then recently we did a Maddie from 911. Jennifer Love Hewitt has been just so supportive and amazing throughout this whole process. So we have something for the holiday junkie herself, a Christmas-inspired sticker, Cadu, based on Jennifer's love of the holidays, her brand, The Holiday Junkie. It's just magical and holographic, Radical Ones. It looks so good in person.
Please check it out. The Christmas is around the corner, so gift your loved ones with some Jennifer Love Hewitt stickers.
You're a Jennifer Love Hewitt fan. They are so cute. And of course, in the future, we're always thinking about radical merchandise and things like that. So let us know if there's something particular you would like for Radical Retro. We can make it happen, hopefully. My dear friend, thank you so much for coming on and sharing this movie with me because I knew of it. At one point, I think I was almost about to rent it. I never did. And I am so thankful though, like that you come up with these movies that aren't really talked about, but my God, I think deserve another look.
Better late than never. So thank you.
So true. And I always love to ask, when you're not hanging out over here, my dear friend, where can the lovely people find you at?
You can follow me on Instagram, Cadu Luongo.
And the Radical Retro Rewind podcast, one word, on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and beyond. Thank you so much again to Kerry and Christian for giving us these in-depth, amazing videos. And of course for Cadu for working his magic behind the scenes always for making this happen. Just amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you, and thank you.
Thank you, Kerry. Thank you, Christian. Thank you, Ryan. And thank you, Radical Ones, for having me. And let me just ask you a question before I go. Why Emily?
Oh my God. And with that, stay radical, Radical Ones. Bye-bye.
Radical Ryan, he's ready.